ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Living. I'm Jim Fuller.
Oh my goodness, Julia just started my day off right.
Yeah, that's the way it
I'm
always
Peggy
works on this show,
Burton.
yes.
And I'm Jerry Harris, sitting in for John Gray.
I know,
Our
and
prayers
I
are going out to John this morning.
Yes.
Well, yeah, and I think John's doing pretty well. He's been in the hospital for a couple of days, but expected to get out today. But
Well, I hope so. I didn't even know till I walked
as a
in
matter
here.
of fact, he may be here before the show's over.
Well, I
We
hope
don't
so.
know. So,
I hope so. Well, John, if you're out there, we love you.
If
Absolutely.
he can find his clothes, I bet you money he's hitting the door.
Probably.
Don't let him close to an exit.
By the way, we are decorated here on the set with we still have the patriotic theme because we had so much video last week from all the
it's
Veterans
great.
Day events that we covered. We had to extend some of that into this show so that we've got
Have we shown the event from South Jackson yet?
part of it.
That
but
went so
was,
well.
That
That
was,
was beautifully done. And I'm so proud of the high school students that came in. The choruses came and sang, and the brass ensemble came and played. And I love it when I see young people helping to support such an awesome event.
yeah, absolutely.
Well done.
Absolutely.
Congratulations to the city, the Civic Center, and whoever put it all together.
I thought you were a part of that. No.
Well, I only made sure I was there and said thank you
Yeah.
to a lot of veterans
You
and
know,
to
I got one of
myself.
those.
Did you?
CJ sent me a text message. Said, thank you for your service.
Well, that was nice.
That was the only one I
was
got.
nice.
Are you old enough to have done Vietnam?
Yeah,
or-
he did
Yes,
Vietnam.
You
ma'am,
did
I am.
Vietnam.
Very much so.
Well-
But it's and we was just talking about that big.
I know, but it was a
before.
tough
You
time
won't, you
when
won't
it.
believe it, but Jerry was actually sane before he went to Vietnam. You know?
Yeah, I was.
Well, I
was in
mean-
good shape before then.
That was some tough duty.
Hey,
What years were you in?
I was in 68 and 70. I went to Vietnam in July of 1968 and came back in right at the end of July of 69.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We appreciate
I
all
didn't
our
enjoy
veterans.
it. I wouldn't take nothing for the experience, but you couldn't melt me and pour me back over there.
Wasn't not a fun thing.
Well, you in Vietnam, you never knew. I mean, you really didn't.
Didn't quite even know where you were half the time, did
Well,
you?
no matter what you was doing, you just never, there are so many different stories about Vietnam, but unless you were there and experienced it, you could never come back here and tell people about it because
they just don't get it.
they just don't get that once you're there and you see why you're there, you can understand it. But until you're there,
You don't.
You don't. And you don't understand their way of thinking. And I mean, I never could understand their way of thinking about anything. I mean, it was beyond me.
We were stationed in the Philippine Islands, and the Clark Air Force Base Hospital is where a lot of the wounded came, and very sobering. I mean, you know, you just have seeing the people in the hospital and the parents that would come there to see their sons and daughters. Actually, they came because they were dying. It was horrible.
I mean, it was. You would see, and here's the thing about it. Over there, everybody was looking forward to the day they would leave, so they'd have countdown calendars.
Yeah.
And there was one guy that was just looking so forward, and he got killed the day before.
Oh wow.
Oh,
And,
that's
and
sad.
you have all this paperwork the last week that has to be done, shots and everything. That's what he was doing. So even though you got closer,
It didn't guarantee you were getting out.
You were constantly afraid something was going to happen, and until you landed in the United States, you were still afraid because you just didn't know what was going to happen. You didn't know what they'd done. So it's
Tough times.
my hat goes off to anybody that has
War
ever
is not fun.
been in combat of any kind, because none of it is fun.
You know, I was wondering when you got back to the States and into what would be a normal life, how did you adjust to that? Did you still have that apprehension that you had when you were in Vietnam because you knew that somebody might be shooting at you at any minute?
Over there, you're in a defense mode, to
Yeah.
me. And
And
as bad as-
survival mode.
Right, and as bad as I hate to say it, when I came back, it was if people they didn't have to push you too far before you went off on it.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way, because it was, I mean, it was something you adjusted to, but after a while, you adjusted with the help of friends and everything. So it's, it wasn't.
I think one of the things, and even as a military wife, one of the things that I noticed is trivial whining would just get on my last nerve.
Yeah, I bet.
Little pitiful, petty things, and still to today, people need to just stop and think a minute.
Right.
How lucky we are to live in this country.
Real lucky, and with what's going on now, we need to really, really think about bringing anybody from over there into the United States. I've got.
Unless all their paperwork is in order and they have been totally checked out.
That's what a lot of people are talking about, and I don't see how they can check them.
It's
I mean, if there's no records to check, how do you check? And my
true.
point is, let's just say we bring 200 people in here, and 199 of them are great, real good. What about that one?
I don't know, maybe we should steer away from that, though. Otherwise, we're going to have to give equal time to people who feel
bet,
different about that, though.
It's true.
Okay, I have my
I
time.
think the best thing that we can all do is pray for our nation and do whatever we can on the side of right and side of freedom.
Right, exactly.
That's about it.
Jerry's here. I think he wants to talk about a little event you've got coming up, don't you, Jerry?
Oh, yes.
Could it have to do
tomorrow.
with horses?
No.
Tomorrow. So this
we
is
had our
this
last
is
show
Tuesday.
this weekend.
Oh, did you?
This is Tuesday, so if you're watching this on Tuesday, it'll be on Wednesday.
It'll be tomorrow.
So if
Oh,
you see it on
okay.
If you're
Thursday,
watching tonight.
you missed it.
Yeah, if it's on Thursday, just get over it.
Yeah, right.
We've got people coming in here. We're going to do it right here in the studio.
Oh, good.
But a lot of people are looking at communications and the changes and everything that's taking place. Well, I've got groups coming in from Atlanta, Knoxville. We're going to be showing how you can save funds on communications by
Wonderful.
voice over IP. And we're also going to have, right now, to hire a computer person to come into your office is very expensive. I mean, it
I'm sure it
keeps
is.
getting more expensive all the time. So we have a contract, and I'm talking about Telco Management Group, which I'm one of the partners in it. It's nationwide now. But we have a contract with a company out of Atlanta that does it remotely. And I think this is neat, because when we have a problem on What a Horse, and I'm trying to adjust stuff, I just call Patrick, and Patrick says, okay, put me in. I put him in.
Patrick's our computer guy.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
right. Okay.
I sit there and watch him do it.
Well, Patrick is
he
such a
clears it all
genius.
up.
I know, isn't that
Yeah.
great?
Yeah, and it don't cost that much, and he doesn't have to come in here.
He doesn't have to come.
So-
He can do it from.
Do it from there.
Well, I think yeah. How good is that?
Yeah.
I mean,
Awesome.
most of the time, that's all it is. It's not that you need a new product or a new part.
You
It's
just need how to
just making some
deal with it.
adjustments. So if you can do that economically, the savings is there. It's just like voice over IP. When you do voice over IP, the service comes with a phone. So if you take a business that's looking at getting a new phone system, and let's just say they're looking at getting 30 phones, you're probably talking in the neighborhood of somewhere between $20,000 and $30,000 to put that phone system in, a good one. With voice over IP, all you do is furnish the bandwidth, they furnish everything else, and you come in and you'll get it. Most of the time, it will take a bill, say that's $1,200 a month in service. It'll cut it down to $600 a
Wow.
month, and
Cut it in two.
you've got all new phones,
That's awesome.
And they furnish the phones.
and they furnish the phone.
Yeah. Okay.
I really like it, because if power goes out,
It still works.
it still works, because everything will go to your cell phone. You can have it transferred to your cell
Yeah.
phone. I mean, it's really neat the way it works. Plus, if you've got multiple locations, you can transfer it to the other location.
That's really good. I wish I was smart enough to understand it all.
Well, it gets.
Well, that's why you have the service. So
Yeah.
you don't have to.
You don't
They
have to
tell
understand
you
it.
all about
You don't have
plus,
to.
Plus the storage in the cloud. That is getting huge.
Yeah, it is.
Rather than having all this equipment to store this, you
It's
got
up there,
it up there.
in a cloud somewhere.
Right, and you can go any place and access it.
That's wonderful.
As long as you got the passcodes and everything, you get in there and download it and
And you
look.
can get what you need.
So it's really, it's really entertaining. It's very educational, one thing.
Obviously,
Very
yeah.
educational. And these people, we did it once before, and we had several people come in, and they really liked it. Going to start at 9 o'clock. We'll serve refreshments and food.
That's tomorrow.
That's
If
tomorrow.
you're here watching this on Tuesday.
Wednesday, the 18th. Today is the 17th. It will be the 18th. And everybody's invited. You don't have to. We send out a bunch of
Does everybody know
invitations
where
and
it
things.
is? Does everybody know where this is? Right here?
Studio, 410 Wilson Avenue.
There you go.
Someone will point you in the right direction. If nothing else, we'll put Jimmy out front and he can flag you down. So you got time?
It depends on what it pays. You know.
It doesn't pay nothing.
The last thing I need is another job that doesn't pay anything.
We've got one of them
Yeah.
right now.
Have I got-
Julie's over here laughing because she knows she gets a paycheck.
Right.
Have I got time to mention this weekend at South Jackson?
Absolutely.
Well, we have a really nice weekend coming up. There's been so much chaos in the world that the performing arts and the visual arts help us to endure that. Friday night, we have Robin Spielberg coming into South Jackson Civic Center, along with Healing Arts art exhibit. Robin Spielberg's a great pianist, and she has visual things on the screen, and she writes a lot of her own music, and it's all about what the arts can do for the individual and for the world, actually, because that's one area we can communicate without getting in trouble through music. So we hope people will come. The phone number 931-455-5321 for tickets, and we are looking forward to seeing a good crowd.
What day was that?
Friday,
Friday.
the
Okay.
20th, and then on the Sunday, the 22nd, we have a Young Artist Showcase, which are local high school musicians that do more classical music, and that's at 2:30 on Sunday. So we have a
Okay.
lot going on.
Eat lunch and then go listen to the
Eat
music.
lunch and go hear the music.
Lots
There's
of things
some great
going on down
talent
there all
here.
the time.
I'm
Absolutely.
real proud. Yeah.
Okay, so don't miss that. That
Well,
sounds
thanks
like
again,
fun.
veterans.
Don't forget Jerry's event here coming up at 410
Tomorrow.
Wilson Avenue
Starting
on
at 9.
Wednesday. Starting at 9 o'clock in the morning. And if you watch it, as I said previously, if you're watching this on Thursday, maybe you can catch them next time.
That's it. Call it. We'll give you information.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay with us. We'll be right back in a moment with more living right after this.
The Kia Summers on Us sales event is going on right now at Russell Barnett Kia of Tullahoma. Let me tell you about this event. Purchase a new Kia Sedona, Kia Optima, Kia Forte, and receive 0% financing up to 66 months and your first 3 payments for free. For a limited time only, no strings attached. With America's best warranty, the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, Kia is the power to surprise. The Kia Summers on Us sales event going on right now. Why buy anywhere else?
All I have to do to think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do, you know.
Everyday Miracles, Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
I'm so pleased to introduce this next bit of video that we did last Wednesday, the 11th of November for Veterans Day at the South Jackson Civic Center. And a big thank you to our city for having this event and the high school students that were involved. We're proud to present this.
We're especially privileged today to have such a distinguished group of participants in our ceremony today. At this time, we're going to have a medley of service songs. As your song is heard, we'd like for you to please stand and be recognized. Oh,
Your support keeps our nation strong. It fuels our troops, and it allows them to concentrate on their mission. You know, there's comforting news for everyone here today, and every American really, and that is that our men and women in uniform today are as good as any we've ever had. They can stand beside everyone in history that has ever fought, in Vietnam, in Korea, or to their great-grandfathers in World War II. You can just ask any one of the embedded media that we have with our combat units. For over 12 years now, we've had embedded media with our combat units, and they will write. They have the backs of steel. They are courageous. They are professional. They are kind and compassionate. And they can stand proudly beside their forefathers. They have made their own mark in defeating terrorists in Ramadi, Fallujah, and Baghdad, Iraq, or in Helmand and Restrepo, Afghanistan. They believe and they live the values of duty, honor, country, and self-sacrifice. You know, today's military is a rich tapestry. We come from every faith, every educational background, every place in the United States, and even American Samoa, not on our name. And today, our women are performing unprecedented missions in every single service and in combat. They're flying helicopters and airplanes. They're working as female engagement teams in and with special operations units. And now they have actually paved the way for future women by earning the Army Ranger tab. You know, too often our children are told they cannot do this or you shouldn't do that. Well, somebody forgot to tell Major Lisa Jaster, Captain Kristen Grist, and First Lieutenant Shay Haver. And this community forgot to tell me and countless others. You know, the success of our military depends on our military's connection with their communities. And right now, only 1% of our military is serving. 1% of the American population is serving in our military. So the community that you build helps us recruit the finest young men and women in the world. Then we teach them, we train them, and we prepare them for a very dangerous world. And then we sit back and let them lead the way. So help us prepare this generation for evil. It exists in this world. As much as we wish it didn't exist, as much as we turn our eyes from it, it is here. It is still with us. So tell them the stories of the brave men and women, our veterans here today. From the books, the documentaries, the movies, and the stories, both ancient and recent, so that they can be inspired and have hope for their future and their children's future. I truly want to thank you today for being here to honor our nation's veterans. And I want to say, God bless you, God bless you all, and God bless our great nation. Thank you.
We get closer to a world with more birthdays when we take cancer patients by the hand. we help them find answers and guidance and hope, and give them more candles to light. We're the American Cancer Society. Help create a world with more birthdays at morebirthdays.com.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors, and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Cove Lake, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Martin Weakley, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, Rugby in the Big South Fork, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're pleased to have joining us now Terry Hudson. And Terry is the Executive Director of the Manchester Area Chamber of Commerce, and she's here today to talk to us about some of the events that they've got coming up over there. Terry, how long have you been in this position with the Chamber?
Just only about 10 months.
10 months,
I'm still fairly
okay.
new.
You mentioned just a moment ago that you were a Kentucky basketball fan because you lived in Kentucky, obviously. Did you move here just to take this job?
Yes, I did. I moved here to take this job. I have an 18-year-old who stayed back in Richmond and is attending Eastern Kentucky University.
Yeah.
And I just said, it's time for Mom to, make a life for herself.
Oh, okay, okay. So are you liking it in this part of the country now?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
great.
It's beautiful.
Great.
People have been very warm and welcoming.
Yeah, and I'd have to say, Executive Director of any Chamber of Commerce around here is going to put you in touch with lots and lots of folks. So I'm sure that you're right on the cutting edge of what's going on.
We do. We touch a little bit of everything. We really do.
I know you're here today to talk about some events that the Chamber has got coming up. So the floor is yours.
Yeah. I really want to put in a plug for something that's really near and dear to the hearts of probably every chamber, and that is that we really want to encourage residents to shop local. And I know that can be a little bit tough when you feel like there's not a great wide selection. But we really just want to encourage folks to do the best that they can to try here first. Whether it's Manchester or Tullahoma, let's keep it in the county. The best that we can.
Absolutely, and that's always a good message to have because I mean, if you go spend it in Davidson County or Rutherford County, it's gone forever.
Right.
The tax dollars are gone forever.
That's exactly right. So stay off I-24 the best you can.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I know you've got another event coming up called 2020 or something.
Right.
Okay.
Coffee County 2020, Positioning for Growth. And this is an event that takes place 2 weeks from today. It's December 1st. It begins at 8 in the morning with a session on tourism and sort of our place here in Coffee County in the tourism conversation, the rural tourism conversation. We'll move into a session on workforce development and really, figure out some ways, creative and innovative ways that we can develop our workforce. We're moving from there into a session on developing our young professionals, engaging those millennials. We really need to bring those folks to the table and get them involved. They're our future. And then from there we'll move into an economic development session. We have folks coming from Murray County, from Clarksville, from Williamson Inc., who are coming to talk about their economic development councils, their alliances. And I think, the real message that I think we'll hear carried throughout the day is partnerships and collaboration and working together. So we're real excited about that. And then we will go into lunch from there. And our lunch and keynote speaker is just former Mayor Carl Dean from Nashville. So
how in the world did you swing that?
We swung that because we have a really good friend of the chamber, Mr. John Greeter. I'll go ahead and give him credit for that.
Yeah, okay.
So he said, if you want Carl Dean, I'll get you Carl
So
Dean.
he personally knew Mayor Dean,
He
right?
does. He does. Said he sat with him at ball games. So
Yeah.
you know, another great use for sports, I guess.
I'm pretty impressed that, you know, I'm sure his term was just over not long ago. And I'm pretty impressed that he's back out on the trail doing things.
Right,
for them.
right.
You know, it's a great choice.
And I think that he probably, you know, has some aspirations politically. You know, and we're not looking for him to talk about that necessarily. We want to hear him talk about the innovative and creative things that he did in Nashville to, you know, to bring them along. You know, he had served 2 terms and was very effective in Nashville, and so we want to just hear that message, and I think that's something that we'll hear. You know, I've heard him say it's all connected. It's all connected, and I think that that's a great message for our community. I feel like sometimes we get bogged down and sort of, you know, staying in our own silos and doing our own thing, and so to really pull together and all work from the same page, you know, I think could be really, really a useful message.
And so is this event something that where you're getting, I'm sure you're getting information from other counties or other cities, but is it to exchange ideas and such?
It really is. It's what I'm hoping to do is that I'm hoping that seeds will be planted, you know, and as we listen to some of our neighbors and hear their success stories and even their challenges, really, that we can say, I wonder what of that is possible here in Manchester and Coffee County. So, you know, this is a seed planting event. We're very blessed to have U.S. Bank that's sponsoring our luncheon, and then we've had some other sponsors who are sort of behind the scenes. So we've got a lot of support, and people are already calling and making their reservations. So really excited about that.
You mentioned earlier tourism, and I would imagine that for Manchester in particular, and to some degree the entire county, because of Bonnaroo, that's a significant impact.
You know, it really is. We have, you know, between 80 and 100,000 guests for 4 days every summer, and you know, I'm new to the area. I've been visiting this area for about 12 years, but to call myself a resident, you know, that's a new thing. And so I have wondered, are we taking full advantage of that opportunity of having 80 to 100,000 guests coming to town? I'm not sure that we are. You know, we actually have some businesses who close their doors, you know, for those 4 days. They go ahead and take their vacations, and I really feel like that they could benefit from these guests if you know, if we all work together and talked about ways to really capitalize on the opportunity.
You mentioned that you visited the area. Is that do you have relatives or family here?
I have a friend, a very special friend who lives in Hillsborough.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had visited this area prior to making the decision. I was going to ask you what made you choose this particular area.
Yeah, I didn't just throw a dart. There's a very special gentleman that I met 12 years ago, and he and I actually did a long distance relationship for 12 years.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's we're lucky to have him as a resident because that ultimately brought you
right. Well, I appreciate that.
to this area.
I appreciate that.
So do you find this a little challenging? I know you probably got thousands of ideas. I see them just bubbling over right now. So.
Well, I appreciate you're noticing that because I am very passionate. I like you said earlier, I came from Richmond, Kentucky, and I felt like you know, I had a great friend and mentor there who was our executive director at that chamber. We were very active. We had lots of working committees that were very, very effective in bringing some good positive change. And you know, change is going to happen. Change is inevitable. It's coming. And so that's, you know, another reason for having a conference such as this is that I really, you know, I want us to be proactive in addressing the change that's bound to happen. You know, sitting right on I-24, we're going to grow. We just are. I think that I-24 is going to eventually do for Manchester what the railroad did for Tullahoma so many years ago. So we've got to be proactive in that and not just sit back and let change and growth happen to us. We've got to affect it.
And as I just mentioned, I suspect that we are going to be proactive because
absolutely.
you certainly bring the passion and enthusiasm to this shop.
Thank you.
And the Manchester Chamber of Commerce, very lucky to have you
Thank
here.
you.
I'm
I
sure.
appreciate that.
Well, I wish you lots of luck with this event. It's a very ambitious event, and it sounds like it's going to be very informative and pretty enjoyable as well.
I hope so, and I hope that we'll have guests, from both Manchester and Tullahoma, and even surrounding counties. Franklin County. We just did a mixer with those three chambers together last week, and it was a fantastic, wonderful way to network with our regional partners. So I'm hoping to get a really nice crowd.
You mentioned involvement from maybe Tullahoma and other areas. What do people do if they'd like to attend this event? Is it open to
It is.
outside folks?
It's open to the public. You need to call our office because we do need a reservation. There's also a $25 charge if you're attending the full day, the half day, from 8 through lunch. So it's $25 charge. Call our office. It's 931-728-7635, and you'll talk to Margie and make your reservation with her.
Okay, all right. So nice of you to come by and
Thank
tell
you
us
so
about that,
much.
and lots of luck
Appreciate it.
in what you're doing. It sounds fun and kind of exciting, and I know you're going to do a great job.
It's
with
very
it.
exciting. Thank you very much.
All right, folks, we'll be right back in just a moment with more living right after this.
Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the paint. Uh-oh. I just knocked a tree over. This is the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel at the paint works where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good because you work hard for them and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat, They do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the Paint Works at 1960 North Washington Street and you see David Heikkinen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fix you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Paintworks today. Martin Senor. See? Martin Senor. Right there. Martin Senor at the Paintworks. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
We're blessed to have a lot of Veterans Day events going on in our towns last week, and we'd like to show you now some of the wonderful events that went on in Manchester.
Now we'll have the placing of the colors by the ROTC from Manchester. Please stand for the raising of the flag and our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars
thank you all for your service, and I want you to know that Tennessee takes its veterans very seriously. We've not forgotten our veterans, and if you haven't seen in the state legislature what's going on to support veterans, young and old, let me just tell you very briefly. We've increased educational opportunities for all ages of veterans to go back to community college and go back to four-year universities. We're working on property tax freezes for your property taxes back at home, knowing that many of you operate on a fixed income, and we intend to lower those as much as we can and freeze them. We have a special veterans court that we've created in Tennessee specifically for the problems that veterans face within the judicial system, to take into account your service and PTSD and other things that you've experienced that some may not understand, that this is staffed by veterans for veterans. We're also looking very closely at education on veterans issues within our K through 12 elementary schools now. We have started a Medal of Honor program within our schools where we're teaching first about Tennessee Medal of Honor winners and then going on to national Medal of Honor winners, trying to show how important it is for the sacrifices that they've given us. So on behalf of the state of Tennessee and personally from me, thank you for all your service. Enjoy this beautiful day.
God bless America.
This next person's not here today, but I'll tell you a little bit about them. They were born November 26, 1924 in Jamestown, New York. At the age of 20, she joined the United States Army as a nurse during World War II. After discharge from the military, later moved to Tullahoma, where she worked and got married. She's been a citizen of Coffee County for over 50 years. April 24th, 2015, while living alone in her home, caught her clothes on fire by a heater and burnt to death. So we're going to honor her today. Is anybody here for Marie Rearshield? Next one's not here either. He joined the Army 2003 year after high school, after he got out. He served with the 101st Airborne Division Combat Team. Later leaving for the Middle East and in Iraq around November 29, 2005. On Saturday, January the 28th, 2006, he was killed by IED. His mother's here today. Corporal Brian J. B.J. Schoaf. This is his bust up here, this bronze. Iraqi freedom. Petty Officer Tony Young, could you step up here a minute? Iraqi veteran. He's receiving the Navy Achievement Award today. It was given to me to give to him today.
past 2 years, the Manchester Quilting Ladies, which is the local quilt guild, has made a Quilt of Valor. This year's Quilt of Valor goes to Paul Smith, a Vietnam veteran. We are delighted to present this quilt.
Paul served in the United States Army and he was wounded in Vietnam. He's a Purple Heart recipient. We're getting tired. Next, we got the placing of the wreaths to honor our veterans who's not with us today. The ones that died for our country. The names are on the stones, and if their name's not on the stone, it's all of them, all over the United States.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Jacob. I'm the Rooster.
And I'm the Red Mane. And we would like to welcome you to
Roosterwear.
Yes, Roosterwear is a cottage industry producing accessories for men, women, children, babies, and pets. All items are hand cut and sewn locally. Roosterwear specializes in bow ties, pocket squares, scarves, cufflinks, neckties, and aprons of all sizes for all ages. Baby products include onesies, diaper covers, bibs, and burp pads. All bow ties, tie it yourself or pre-tied, come with an adjustable neckband. All products can be made with a material of your choice, as special orders are available upon request. Don't be standing back looking at fashion. Create your own with Roosterwear.
come visit us at
roosterandredmaiden.com.
to find our handcrafted designs for
The Cock of the Walk.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Well, welcome back. It's always great to have a very strong Chamber of Commerce in any community. Shelbyville and Bedford County has just that. We are very privileged to have with us CEO of the Shelbyville Bedford County Chamber, Alan Pittner, joins us on the segment. Want to say hello to you, Alan.
Well, hello to you too.
Yes,
Marilyn.
it's always great to see you. And
well, thank you. Great to see you as well.
More than holiday mixers and Christmas parades, the Chamber is really, really vital.
It is. We serve the community in a variety of ways. First and foremost, we serve our members.
Yes.
And our members are the businesses of Shelbyville primarily. We are an organization of businesses for businesses,
Oh,
a
yeah.
nonprofit organization, and you know, the things that we do. The main thing we try to do is improve the quality of life and the quality of living in Shelbyville and Bedford County.
Exactly. You're in touch with different entities. I mean, it's economic and development, it's tourism, it's all of these things that you actually have to kind of spin, catch, keep your hands on constantly.
Yeah, we are. You know, our chamber is. We have the chamber is the overriding organization. Within the chamber, we have the Division of Economic Development and Tourism. So we, you know, under the auspices of economic development, that includes business retention and expansion, industrial recruiting, workforce development, some retail development where there might be a gap in retail. There may be an opportunity to bring in some new retail, not to compete with our local folks as much, but something that's maybe missing in Shelbyville. And then, of course, the tourism part, which is a piece of economic development as well. We work with Bell Buckle War Trace, the celebration, to promote our community, to promote all of our tourism assets through a lot of ways. Through our website, we advertise in some of the larger publications across the country, and so to get information out about Shelbyville and Bedford County. So we have a lot on our plate.
Yes, you sure do. And I want to mention this. You mentioned Bell Buckle. We are so fortunate to just be next door to Bell Buckle because they have huge events, and of course that's going to trickle to Shelbyville and surrounding communities. So we're just very fortunate to have those guys.
Well, just for instance, a few weeks ago, back in October, Bell Buckle had their annual craft fair.
Yeah.
They brought in over 100,000 people on Saturday.
Always.
And about 20-something thousand on Sunday. It fills up all the hotels, not only in Shelbyville, but some of the surrounding communities. And I'd like to add, too, back in October, that the celebration hosted the Australian Shepherd Club of America Nationals, where they have all types of competitions with the dogs, herding and agility contest, and some other things that are really important to those folks in that industry. And they were there for 8 days and brought 2,000 people. They filled up every hotel room in Shelbyville, filled up a lot of hotel rooms here in Tullahoma, and a lot of them in Murfreesboro. Not only that, they had a lot of the RV spots full at the celebration ground. So brought in a lot of folks. They were very happy with Shelbyville. They like the facility. They love the community. We have to kind of pat ourselves on the back as a community because they felt very welcome by the restaurants, the hotels, everybody. Everybody did a great job, and hopefully they'll be back in maybe 2 or 3 years. They moved that thing around the country, so
it'll trickle back on.
Hopefully.
Let's talk about the big industrial park. I know this is a Shelbyville city, county thing. You certainly have your hands there. Where are we on that?
The city and county about 2 or 3 weeks ago finally closed on the property. So the city, Bedford County and Shelbyville are now proud owners of about 86.5 acres out on Frank Norton Road for industrial development. Our next steps are to put in some very preliminary infrastructure, maybe stub a road part of the way into the property, clear some of the property, maybe stub some of the infrastructure like sewer line, water line. Get it registered with the state as a select site. We're going through that process right now. We're in step 2 of the application process. We've had our site visit from the state's consultant. That went very well. So once we get that certification, kind of moves you to the head of the search engine a little bit. It lets companies know, it lets site selection consultants know that that site has been vetted very, very hard, been scrutinized. There's been a lot of due diligence done on the site. So basically, all they have to come in and do is start moving dirt and building their facility.
Oh,
so
beautiful. Yeah.
They don't have to do a lot of the engineering work, the environmental work. All that's been done.
It's done. It's done. Great. I know that Shelbyville is acquiring a new eatery, Zaxby's. That's going up just really
going up
quickly.
right now,
yeah, very quickly. So, other eateries, any secrets you can share? It's just me and you.
No,
Tell anybody.
and everybody out there. Not really. You know, things like Zaxby's are franchises.
Sure.
They research a community, and a lot of times they kind of fly under the radar. They look at a community. They look at our per capita income, our household income, our population. They look at our location, and they look at their competitors in the market. So, you know, their goal is to come in, and they've got to make money the first day they're open. So they vet the community pretty hard. I may provide some information to a developer or somebody who's representing a franchisee or a potential retailer, but I don't know who it is. They're very secretive about that because they may be bringing in someone to compete with local businesses. So, but you know, from an economic development standpoint, they may come to us, say, you know, I need some information about your workforce. I need information about income levels here in Shelbyville. I need to know information about education levels. How many people here do you have with a college degree and that type. They really look at a wide range of demographic and socioeconomic data.
Oh yeah, sure.
And then they go back to whoever they're representing or whoever they're trying to attract to Shelbyville and lay all that information out on the table, and then that individual, that person, that company makes a decision. Yes, we feel like we can make a living in Shelbyville.
Sure. I know that you're constantly busy with just everyday things, but there are a couple of times of the year that just really the pressure is on. The celebration being one. Of course, you're planning the holiday mixer now, so I'm not sure which is the time that Alan is really more stressed.
More stressed? I don't know. I think there's about a half a day in July when I'm not stressed.
Okay, one half day in July. Okay.
No, it's pretty much, you know, if we're not busy with an event, we're very busy with a lot of other things. But the events kind of just are more that gets piled onto the plate, I guess. And they're fun, and I think they're really good for the community. Our holiday mixer, which is coming up next week, next Tuesday, you know, is probably it is our biggest event of the year. As a chamber, it's our biggest event, and it's an opportunity to kick off the holiday season. It's a great opportunity for our local business folks, individuals to come and network and in a very stress-free environment. We have good food and good entertainment there. So. And this will be our 21st year doing that.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Everybody looks forward to it, and we've got to really thank all of our sponsors. This is all done with sponsorships.
That's right.
And we've had people who have been sponsors for years, and
very good.
And we couldn't do it without them.
Very good.
And then we just back in the first week of October had our Firehouse barbecue out at the fire school.
Yes.
And we had about 250, 260 people.
It grows
at that.
every year.
Yes.
Every year. Yes. Want to get you to maybe mention just very quickly the fact that you don't do it yourself all alone. You've got a great board. You've got a great group of individuals there. I don't know how many members strong the chamber is, but
well, we are at about 450 right now.
I knew it was up there.
We would like to get that number to about 500. We have a good, strong board of directors. We have a great ambassador program that has really helped. They really are the extension of the chamber.
Yes, they are.
You know, I have myself and Stephanie Crosland. That's all the staff we have. So we can't do it all. Without our board, our volunteers, and our ambassadors, we couldn't be successful.
I think it's just a very, very wonderful thing that you all are just doing and getting together. I know Shelbyville is going to move forward with people like you and the others. Yes, absolutely. Can't wait to see all of this that's going to appear in front of our eyes very quickly. So
we hope, and we're working in that direction. And The main thing is just to be very positive and to keep our eyes open and look for opportunities to grow and get more people involved, more people to the table.
There you go.
The more people who can be involved, the better and stronger we'll be.
Absolutely. Ellen, it's been a pleasure.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure as well.
Absolutely. Again, that mixer is coming up next week.
Next week, a week from today on November the 24th at 5 to 7 at the Blue Ribbon Circle.
All righty.
Be there.
Be there. Be there. CEO, Shelbyville, Bedford County Chamber of Commerce, Alan Pittner, has been our guest. We certainly appreciate Alan. Stay tuned. Back with more Living right after this.
At the time, maybe you were just building a bridge, a business, or a community. Maybe you were simply working for a home or a better tomorrow. At the time, you served out of duty and love of country. But in that time, we see a legacy created, an American dream lived. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
There's no place like home.
Getting home safely is just a click away, and choosing the right seat for your little one's age and size will take you down the road to safer travels.
How can I ever thank you enough?
Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
I'm meteorologist Leland Statham from the News Channel 5 Weather Center. Look to Jim Fuller and crew for local news night here on Channel 6.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very pleased to have a young man with us today that works with the state of Tennessee. His name is Jason Beard, and he is the Director of Adult Education for the state of Tennessee. And Jason, welcome to Tullahoma.
Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you here today. What I'd like to do first is get just a little bit of your background. How in the world did you get, you told me you're from Santa Fe.
That's right, yes sir.
Which is the proper pronunciation. And how did a fellow like you get from Santa Fe and end up in Nashville and in this role that you're in right now?
Well, it was a long, windy road. I started out as a youth minister and went from there to law school, practiced in private law in Memphis for about 4 years, and then came back to Nashville and worked as the legislative liaison for the Tennessee Department of Labor and Workforce Development. And just about a year ago, our commissioner asked me to move into this position as the administrator for adult education. So going from youth ministry to lawyer to lobbyist, I think all I have to do is run for office or sell used cars and I'll be set.
Sounds like to me you're prepared.
Yes, sir.
You're
absolutely.
prepared. In this position, what are some of your roles and what are some of the things that you hope to accomplish? Because I know you can give us some statistics about the state of Tennessee and people, how many people as adults have decided to go back to school and go get forward with their education, and what are some of the programs and things that you're developing to help make that happen for our population?
Absolutely. Well, I'd like to start out by saying, you know, most people are shocked when they hear that adult education is not in the Department of Education, but we're in the Department of Labor and Workforce Development, because adult education is really a workforce development program. And that ties back to a problem that we face in the state of Tennessee, and that is across the entire state, from Memphis to Mountain City, from the ages of 18 and 64, we have 700,000 of our citizens who do not have a high school diploma or equivalency. In the jobs4tn.gov website, anybody who's looking for a job, I'd advise them to go there. There's over 90,000 jobs listed there on any given day. None of them have a minimum requirement of less than a high school diploma or equivalency. So the folks that made that decision, those 700,000, they're locked out of the American dream. They're locked out of that promise of being able to get a good job that's going to have life-sustaining wages that they can raise their family. So that's where adult education comes into play. We have classes set up in all 95 counties. We have excellent instructors that are ready to take anybody who wants to come in who dropped out of high school and is ready to come back and rectify that mistake mistake. You know, so many people, they look down on our students. They look down on the people, and it's kind of like they have a bit of shame attached to it, but it shouldn't be like that. Because we have great students. We have folks that, for whatever reason, whether it's at their own fault or just the life circumstances, life happened, and they made a decision, and they dropped out, or they had to drop out because of life circumstances. But now they've made another decision, which is more important than that first one.
Oh, sure.
To come back. See, our students don't have to be there. They choose to be there. And if you're an employer and you're watching this program, I want that to stick in your mind, that you've got an individual that chose to come back to school, chose to come to class every single time, to do the work, to do the hard work, and then study, 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 take the exam, and pass. A true academic achievement. You know, I always grew up hearing, you know, the GED, the good enough diploma, right? Right. Somebody says, I need to go get my GED. Well, first off, you can't go get a GED. It's not a thing to go get. It's a test that leads to a high school equivalency diploma. Well, now employers might start hearing something about a test called a HiSET. And it's just another vendor that creates a test that covers the same standards that the GED exam covers, and it leads to a high school equivalency diploma in the same way that a GED exam does. So if a person comes to an employer applying for a job, they've got a high school equivalency diploma, it doesn't matter whether they took the GED exam or the HiSET exam to get there. Right. It's a true academic achievement. That's somebody that's going to have some soft skills, it's going to be have some academic skills, and is going to be ready to contribute to your organization on day one.
Well, I would think it would be just like, in a way, it would be like an athlete who has practiced for years and years and years and quits athletics in high school, and then 10 years later decides to go back and try to play again. You know, I think it's not easy for you to get your body back in shape. I would think it would also not be so easy to get your mind and your dedication back in shape to start studying again.
That's a hurdle.
Because you're still living life day to day. That's right. And you're still working a job, and you're still probably taking care of kids and trying to make all that stuff happen. Right. So to get yourself back in that mindset to learn is a real commitment.
It's a real commitment, and it's a real hurdle, but it's never been more easy for an individual to make that decision and take that step. All they have to do is pick up the phone and call. There are going to be some numbers that flash up on the screen for our viewing audience. Right. And all you have to do is pick up the phone, call one of those numbers that's in the area that's closest to you, most convenient to you. You will get a friendly voice on the other side of the phone. They're going to invite you in to come and get registered and to do an orientation. It's going to be nothing like your high school experience. Nothing like it. Yeah. It's going to be a flexible schedule.
You mean that mean old guidance counselor's not going to be there?
She didn't make it over to our program. And
good for you.
They're going to go in. There's going to be flexible class times. There's class times during the day. There's class times in the evening. If you have child care issues, if you've got transportation issues, if you actually we're able to get a job, but the job, your work schedule conflicts with class time, we have an online classroom now. If you qualify, if you have internet access at home or at the library or at McDonald's, if you have a smartphone, any sort of device that can connect to the internet, you can now take adult education classes remotely on your own time.
See, that's incredible. That's good.
We're one of only 4 states in the nation, and I will say that ours is better than the other 3.
Of course you will.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm going to ask a question. Right now, our governor has given us the Tennessee Promise.
That's right.
For our high school students for 2 years of college.
Right.
Are the people who go through your program going to be able to get the Tennessee Promise if they want to go further?
Absolutely. This high school equivalency diploma opens up an entire world of opportunity. If you graduate before your 18th birthday with a high school equivalency diploma, you qualify for the Tennessee Promise. If you graduate after your 18th birthday and there's certain criteria to meet, you most likely qualify for Tennessee Reconnect, which is basically Tennessee Promise for some older students. If you
well, that's great.
And
that's great.
You also qualify for the Hope Scholarship. All of these doors open. Just imagine, there you are. You've dropped out of high school. You may be hanging your head, but now all of a sudden you can come and you can take these classes for free on your time, on your schedule. You can also take the exam for free. We now offer vouchers. That's another program that Governor Haslam and the members of the Tennessee General Assembly passed, is money for vouchers to be able to actually pay for the exam itself. And you can get your high school equivalency diploma and open up a world of opportunity. You can go to college, you can go to community college, you can go to Tennessee College of Applied Technology, you can get a diploma, a degree, a certificate. You can go on and do anything that your mind can imagine. And it all starts by picking up the phone and giving us a call.
Calling that phone number right there.
That's right, that's the one.
Right there.
Yes, sir.
And this takes place in every county, every town. I mean, this is a question. Is there adult education in every town, or are there some towns that maybe don't have that and you're working on getting it going on in those towns?
We have adult education programs in every county. In all 95 counties across this state, there is a presence of adult education. So there should be no reason why anybody wouldn't be able to get to a location and be enrolled in classes. And you know, I've named so many things that are advantages, but here's the bottom line. I've got 10,000 reasons for an individual, whether it's you, whether it's a friend, whether it's a family member, 10,000 reasons to get them to pick up the phone and call. And they all have dollar signs in front of them. Yeah. The difference between the income for an individual who does not have a high school diploma or equivalency and the income of an individual who does have a high school diploma or equivalency is $10,000.
A year.
A year. Give yourself a raise, folks. Pick up the phone.
Right. And then after that, with what you've talked about, I know we have a lot of discussion on here, on our shows with Dr. Lawson, who's the director of schools here, and different folks about the need for us to be able to take our graduates and fill the jobs that are coming into the state. And a lot of those are very technical jobs. And I know up in the McMinnville area, the businesses up there have gone together and they have a mechatronics program.
Sure do.
And there's different things going on like that. And with your graduates, then that's adding a whole nother, and in some ways maybe an older, more mature person to the workforce who can be trained seriously because they have made the choice they've made.
That's right.
To get back involved in one of these technological programs and be ready to step right in. You know, because a lot of those jobs, folks, that people walk out now, they start off at $65,000 a year, some of these jobs do.
Sure, absolutely.
And that's what's coming into our state, and we need to make sure that our population is properly educated to where these factories and these plants can come in here and know that they have a workforce that they can fill their building with.
Right. We just met with a student just this morning. His name's Michael. Michael came to us. He had a job. He was working in a cemetery as a groundskeeper. Mm-hmm. He was out, and you know, it's getting cold. We got our first frost warning tonight in the Nashville area, at least. I'm sure it comes down this direction too.
It'll be here.
And that's the type of conditions he was working in all year long. And he came into our classes, didn't think he was smart enough, didn't think he could do it, but he came in, he met a friendly face. He met a teacher, an instructor that sat down and met him where he was and got him where he needed to be. And he was able to go take the exam, pass it. He works for Nissan now. Doing great, being able to support his family. He just told us this morning that he's ready to start looking into going to a criminal justice program in post-secondary education. He's changed his life.
Isn't that magnificent?
Absolutely it is, and those stories just are over and over and over again. And there's somebody in our audience today, whether it's them or a family member or a friend, who can be the next Michael the next success story. We have children who come up and give us a big hug, and I've never seen this child in my life, and I'm like, what's this for? They say, you know, you work here at Adult Education, and my mommy came here and she can read me stories at night now. That just touches your heart.
Sure,
those
it does.
things
Sure, it
really
does.
happen, and they're happening all across this state.
Sure it does, and yeah, we see the different commercials on television of the kids studying and the mom or the dad waking up and going to work and doing his thing, and then coming home and studying, and yeah, it's really great when you see the little girl or little boy get up out of bed and walk and look through the door, and mom's over there doing her homework.
That's right.
And it shows for your children that you care enough about them and to put the drive behind making yourself a better individual, to help them become better individuals and better citizens and better contributors to our society.
You change your life and you change your family generationally.
There you go. Well, is there anything we can do for you to help you? And there's two lovely ladies out here in the audience who run the program here.
They sure do.
What can we do as a community or our area around here? What can we do to help this progress?
Absolutely. Well, the first thing is to get the word out. We have capacity. We've got our classrooms. We need students. We need to get out and reach these folks that for some reason or another don't believe that they're capable of doing this, and we need to let them know that they can and that there's nothing standing in their way. So our main thing is just get the word out. If you're an individual who this is an issue that's near and dear to your heart and you'd like to come volunteer, I'm sure that all you got to do is pick up that phone as well. Call that same number. And I'm sure they would not turn you away if you wanted to come and help be a part of the transformation of an individual's life.
Right. Jason, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, sir.
We appreciate your work, and I can tell that your work in the ministry in a way because having a faith and being faith-based helps you transmit to these people to have faith in themselves.
Absolutely.
And to grow. And I know you're going to do a great job.
Thanks, sir.
I think whoever your boss is made a good choice.
Thank you, sir.
You know that you're welcome here anytime, and let us know what we can do to help, okay?
Appreciate it.
All right. Folks, we'll be right back after these messages.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
All right, welcome back, folks.
I just want to remind everybody that at South Jackson Civic Center Friday night, Robin Spielberg playing the piano, and the Healing Arts art exhibit that will be there in the front room, and then on Sunday afternoon, Young Artist Showcase.
All right. And don't forget that, folks. We're going to close today's program with a piece we did about the Foothills Craft Fair, which was held in Manchester at the Convention Center on Friday and Saturday. So we're going to close with that video. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here today at the Coffee County, Manchester Coffee County Convention Center, and where there's a big event here going on here today, sponsored by or organized by Foothill Crafts of Manchester. And I'm speaking with Louise Richards. Louise, tell us a little bit about what's happening here today.
Oh, this is our annual Arts and Craft Festival. We call it the Village, Christmas Village of Coffee County. And it'll be going on today and tomorrow, 9 to 5. Free admission, free parking, and a little bit of everything. It's a juried show, which means the quality is there, and we invite everybody out to see.
It is a great event, and I would imagine, just looking around here a little bit, that this is probably a great place to be just a few weeks before Christmas.
It is. You have a chance to do your early Christmas shopping. This is our 30th year doing the show, so I think we've gotten a little bit of everything here. We've got some new vendors, some snowmen, some recycled silverware made into lamps, which are really unusual, and you just need to come out and see.
I mentioned a great place to shop for Christmas, because I would imagine that most of these gifts that you're going to find here today are pretty unique, because someone made those. Those are not things that you would necessarily buy that's manufactured for the most part, I would guess.
Right. Everything is handmade. We've got crocheters, woodworkers. We have basket makers, and we have our bake booth outside, which is our fundraiser, and there's even some jams and jelly made by the Mennonites. A little bit of everything, sewing, all kinds of needlework, jewelry.
I think we're standing perhaps in your booth, so you've got some items here in your booth that I'm assuming that you made. Is that correct?
That's right. I'm a needlework person, so mostly everything is sewing or crocheting, cross-stitch.
So I think you told me before we started that you're actually the manager of the Foothill Craft store here in Manchester.
That's correct. I'm the shop manager right now, and we just celebrated our 35th anniversary on October 1st. And this is our 30th show, so we're going strong.
Now, of course, today is a big event for you guys, because I assume it's a fundraiser for you guys to kind of keep this shop going.
Yes, it is. The items that are at the silent auction and our bake booth, those are the fundraisers. The booth fees and advertising and all that comes out of the booth fees, so it's kind of self-supporting. And then our fundraiser is the bake booth and the auction.
Is this something, what you do, for instance, is that, and I'm sure a lot of people are like this, is that something that's just been a passion of yours for a long time? Have you been doing this thing for an extended period of time?
I've been doing it probably 40 years. You have to like to do it. You can't live on it, but doing the shows is very enjoyable. You meet a lot of nice people, and it gives you an outlet for your art.
So this is something that I would imagine takes a lot of time on some of these items, so you'd have to have patience and like what you're doing.
Yes, patience and time, of course, but I've learned to, if my husband's taking a shower, that's 10 minutes where I can sew something and you get a lot accomplished. And it's relaxing.
So you actually find it relaxing?
Yes. I can solve the problems of the world while I'm sewing.
This, of course, a great event with tremendous amount of selection here at this event today at the Convention Center. But tell us a little bit about the Foothills Craft Store, because you can go there pretty much every day, can't you?
Yes, the craft shop is open 7 days a week, 9 to 5 and 1 to 5 on Sunday. And it's also self-supporting. We have no paid employees, so each of our crafters takes a spot, depending on how much they can work during the month, for a lesser commission. And so you'll meet a crafter whenever you go in there. There'll be somebody.
Yeah, and it seems like I remember that not just everybody can get their craft in there. There is some sort of approval process. Is that correct?
It's a judging process, yes. We have that twice a year. The next one will be in February. You bring 3 items in whatever category you want to enter, and then we have a standards committee that looks at it and makes sure the quality is there.
All right, so it's kind of exciting doing this, and at this time of the year, I'm sure it's going to be exciting for people to shop in that store there. And do you find that there's an increased amount of traffic during the holiday season?
Oh yes, and this show will generate, if somebody's not heard of the shop, after being through there, they will go to the shop and shop. And we get a lot of interstate people. Once they stop in the shop, they stop in again. They're the Florida to the north, and so they make a point of stopping each way.
It's interesting that you say that you get some tourist traffic as well, but tell us about the location of the shops in case some of the folks don't know that.
Okay, we're on Interstate 110 exit, and that's Woodbury Highway, right across from Three Amigos and down from Cracker Barrel. So, and I have to say, I noticed on our sign-in book that we had somebody from Cologne, Germany this month, and somebody from Australia last month. So it's not just statewide,
All right, folks, if you're looking for that really unique Christmas gifts, this is the place to get it. If you didn't make this event here today, check them out at their store, and I think that's Woodbury Highway, correct? If you're local, it's on Woodbury Highway. So for that very unique gift that probably nobody else has got, check them out at Foothill Crafts here in Manchester.